Hey guys, I want to talk about planting bare root strawberries, which is what I'm doing here. Getting some ready for the garden this spring. Bare root strawberries come in a couple different brands. These are June bearing, which means they only produce berries once in about June. And they come in a bag, and what's inside that bag is basically a tangled mess of strawberry plants. These are basically bare, not dead, but dormant roots. And you plant them, and they will kind of come to life. Now, I wanted to show you how I'm planting them, and what the process is. And a lot of people, when they buy strawberries, buy them from the store and buy them alive. So I want to show this as an alternative and as a much cheaper, because you can buy, as you can see, 10 roots for $2.98. Now, who knows if all 10 will survive, but luck of the draw. So what I did here is I mixed up a bucket with potting soil, and I threw in some like organic stuff like coffee grounds and a few things like that in there, just some garbage that's been I kind of saved it up in the house for planting. Well, not in the house, but out in this bucket here, and mixed in some potting soil. So we have that to take from. We have a stack of these compressed peat moss planters, which is what we're going to plant them in. And here's the one I separated. As you can see, it's got the roots, and I trimmed the roots down just a hair. I took like a centimeter off the roots. As you can see, this guy's actually out of the thing, has a little runner on it. Now the trick to these is to plant them, at least from what I read, this is actually my first time, so, is to not plant them too deep or too shallow. What you have right here where my thumb is the crown, and you want to plant it right at the top kind of 10% of that crown. If you go too low, the plant will rot. If you go too high, the roots will dry out and it won't work. So you got to kind of hit that Goldilocks zone where you're planting, which is going to try to be right about here. Now I'm going to try and do this one-handed, guys, so forgive me if the camera work is subpar. Now I have one pot prepared. Now what I did was I made like a little cone of potting mix in there, and what I'm going to do, this is going to be the fun part. Let me get that lens cap out of the way for you guys before we get going, so it's not clattering around. Is we're going to set this in here. I'm going to push these roots in and try and get this kind of centered and get the roots that are kind of spread around the cone so it will absorb as much moisture as possible. It's again very difficult one-handed, guys. Alright, good enough. We're going to fix it after we put some more potting soil in there. So now we are going to fill it the rest of the way with potting soil. Like I said, we're going to make sure that crown is not too high or too low. So we're going to do some readjustments on this. Now that we have it in, oh, sorry guys. So we are going to try and get that crown a little more towards the center. And push that down around it. Press that down a little. Now I already pre-moistened this potting mix, so I already dumped a bunch of water in the bucket. That way, as you can see, it's already moist and wet, so I don't have to worry about it, compressing funny. So I'm going to compress it down lightly, not too heavy, and make sure the crown is. As you can see, there's that little bit of the crown sticking up there. It's probably a little much, but actually, we're going to experiment, because like I said, guys, this is my first time doing this, so I'm going to do some at this level, I'm going to do some a little higher, a little lower, and we'll see what's successful. But there you go. One down, and you can see it's already got that little runner going. We're going to put that out in the sun and see how they grow.